All right. Next page. We're on page Resh Aleph. We're going to receive Teshuvah Elef Tatnah. Okay, 1858. So the person he's writing the letter to is the same Yisrael Yefet. And Yisrael Yefet asked a few questions. So if you notice on the side you see a bet, then on the bottom it says Gimel, and then the next column you see the Dalet. We're going straight to the Dalet. We're not interested with Aleph Bet Gimel over here. Alright? So Dalet. On page Resh Aleph, second column, on the left hand side, Dalet. Sha'al Kibodo. If Ma'aser Kesafim, hu de'oraita, או דרבנן, ואם יעשה במה שנותן לאיזה מטרות של מזווה. So, if it asked Rabbi Messas, if Ma'aser Kesafim is deoraita, right, are you obligated to give this Ma'aser from the Torah, or is it midrabbanan? Is it, based upon a decree from the rabbis? And you fulfill your obligation by giving to certain charitable causes. Teshuvah. יסוד דבר זה הוא מהתוספות תענית ד' עמוד א' דיבור המתחיל עשר תעשר. So we first find this mentioned in the Tosafot, in his commentary on the Gemara, Masechet Ta'anit. Shekatbu Meshem HaSifri, that they wrote in the name of the Sifri, Shedarshu Aser Ta'aser et Kol Tibu'at Zar'echa, Kol Lerabot Frakmatya, Vechol Davar Shemarbi Yahbo, Yahuyan Sham. So the Pasuk says, Aser ta'aser et kol tibu'at zar'echa. It. The word it comes, et kol rather, okay, comes to include not only the grain and the produce of the field, but rather all of your business. All of your business that you do, whether you produce things, whether you sell things, whatever it may be, and all your revenue, everything that you gain. This is what the Tosafot tells us on the commentary on the Gemara based upon the Sifri. And of course, as usual, that's what they always do. The poskim always argue among themselves what's correct and what's incorrect. יש אומרים כי זו דרשה גמורה ללמוד ממנה שהיא מצווה דאורייתא. And there are those that say, yes, this is a complete derasha, was brought to teach us that this is a mitzvah deoraita. ויש אומרים שהיא רק דרבנן. And those say, no, it's only מדרבנן. וקרא אסמכתא בעלמא. And this is only אסמכתא בעלמא. It's only a similarity. Okay, where there is a general connection. ויש אומרים שאף מדרבנן לאתה. And there's no, it's not even מדרבנן. ורק ישראל קדושים נהגו יחידי סגולה לעשות כן. No, just the Jewish people, Am Yisrael, they're very, very holy, and certain scrupulous individuals, they try to do the best that they can, and they're the ones who instituted doing it, and they're the only ones who do it. והספרי שהביאו התוספות הם רק דברי אגדה. And the commentary of the Sifri that the Tosafot quoted is only a Agada, it's only a parable. like a Midrash. כמו שכתוב כל זה בשדה חמד. חלק ה' מערכת הנון כדת ט"ז. So שדה חמד, right? We're all familiar with שדה חמד? Yes? No? Maybe? בחזקיה מדיני. He was the rabbi of Hebron. Before that, he was traveling for a while, and he basically brought Torah back to the Jews of Bukhara who lost everything. And then he went back to Hebron, and he wrote this, we call it the first Jewish encyclopedia. if you will. Siddur Hamid, Encyclopedia of Halakha.
What time period?
Not that long ago, late 1800s.
He brought Judaism back to the Jews of Bukhara.
Yeah,
Interesting.
in around 1840 or so, 1850. They basically lost it all, and there was remnants of it, but he brought it all back to them. He taught them everything from scratch.
The of Halakha, which traces all its origins, like to the source in a sense, or he gives you all Halachot. What exactly did you write in that book?
How can you explain Siddur Hamid? Let's say he talks about the word course. What is a course? What do you need a course for? When is a course used? How come you have to have a course? What is the shi'ur of the course? What type of liquids are used in the course? You name it. Size of the course, yeah. Volume of the course, what?
So it sounds
Like a written Wikipedia.
So you said encyclopedia. Before Wikipedia.
Have you ever seen an encyclopedia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second grade.
Yeah, probably. I think we read it in second grade.
Second grade.
Yeah.
In Markai, in the
I
bookstore.
inherited my grandparents.
And I think we bought it.
Yeah,
Mother board.
we didn't buy it, but yeah.
Wow.
It's in my room upstairs.
It's on like A, B, C, D, B, B, C, C, D, D. Takes up a whole.
Takes up a whole
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah, my grandma has it in the basement somewhere.
Good. That was what we used for reports. All
Right.
World Book.
I used it a few months in my 5th grade, actually. Before the internet was
Anyways, this is a good topic over here.
I can't believe it. Anyway,
Is it amazing? I tell my daughter, we used to have to go to the library
yeah,
Yeah.
to do research.
you'd spend all day Sunday. You had to go do it.
Why? Just doing the.
I mean, we're still studying all day something, just on the computer, searching. I'm not sure of that. Yeah.
You find it much faster.
Yeah, but you get to the library and there's a million other kids from all different types of grades and schools
wow.
looking for things, and you're all trampling and you're all attacking the librarian because you need to find things, and it's not in the card catalog.
they
You can
actually
find
know
the
what
card
every book
catalog
is and
and you get to the
holds the
shelf and you can't find it on the shelf. It's an adventure. Card catalog, yes. Card.
You ever see the Breakfast Club?
All right.
Shuffling the card catalog.
כמו שכתוב כל זה בשדה חמד חלק ה' מערכת הנון כלל ט' זין. טיפול המלכים וכתב עוד ועיין לו עוד במכתב לישעיהו בתענית יום שם. Okay. Put it on the side. He continues now. ולדעתי המעט. נראה שאין זה דאורייתא. And to my simple understanding, he's telling you, it seems this item, Ma'aser Kesafim, is not the Oraita. It is not ordained by the Torah. Mikam ta'ame, for a number of reasons. All right, now he's going to count, I believe, 4 reasons. V'hem, Aleph. בספרי שלפנינו לא נזכר כלל, לא פרקמטיה ולא רוחים. רק כל המאמר הכתוב עשה תעשה מדבר רק על טיבועות ומיני צמחים. First of all, our Sifri that we have talks nothing about business whatsoever. Okay? ולא רווחים, and not any sort of profit. Only talks about Asir Ta'asir and talks about the grain and all types of things that grow on the field. So, that's number 1. Bet, Tebat, Kol, Shemina Darish, Mini Ravahim. Kiwa Dareshuha, Beresh Masechet Ma'aso Birushalmi, Rabot, Kotniot, Vizir'one, Gna, the Ma'asirot. So first of all, this word "kol" that you want to make a derasha from, okay, we already found the derasha earlier than the Tosafot, okay, and earlier than the Sifri. We found it in the Yerushalmi, and the Yerushalmi tells you "kol" doesn't only refer to the tibu'ah of the zira'im, but it also includes all types of kotniot, all types of legumes, vizir'onei gina, and all types of other seeds that grow in the garden, that you have to give ma'asir from them.
So that's a bashat.
So far. ראה הגרסה הנכונה בתורתן של ראשונים שם. And if you want, go see the correct גרסה in this book called תורתן של ראשונים. ג' אם היא דאורייתא, if it is דאורייתא, מדוע לא מנעוה עם תרי"ג מצוות? If it's דאורייתא, how come nobody ever included it among the 613 מצוות? We don't have a mitzvah of Ma'aser. Okay, Ma'aser of Tebu'ah. We have no Ma'aser of Kesafim. Dalet. Im hi deoraita, מדוע עברו עליה כל ישראל גם חכמיהם ורבניהם וחסידיהם? If it's something deoraita, how come all of the Jewish nation has transgressed? How come all the Hachamim and all the Rabbanim and all the Hasidim, they all transgressed, they all forgot about this. They left it to the wayside and didn't do it. We never heard of anybody who has done it and who applies such a law. רק זה עשרות בשנים התעוררו איזה יחידים במרוקו ונעריך בהם. Rather, in the last 10 years or so, some individuals suddenly woke up in Morocco, and if you want to know who they are, any kid could write you their names, few stupid people. Basically, he's not saying stupid, excuse me. And anybody could write them down for you. In other words, not that many people that, you have to know a whole list. In other words, a handful, and anybody could write it down. And even if you want to say, okay, it's not the Oraita, it's the Rabbanan. מדוע לא נמצאו לה גואלים בשום זמן אף עשר המתחסדים הנאחזים בסבך אף של חמורות גסות אשר בדו מליבם ויש עוד מה להעריך ודאי בזה לכל מבין. He goes, listen, if you want to even say it's the Rabbanan, how come we don't find anybody, talking about it or dealing with it in any time period? Even these people that like to make themselves super pious, okay? He's calling them Hasidim, not Hasidim like you're thinking about in Borough Park or Williamsburg, but people that make themselves pious. And if you don't know what he's talking about, all those people that all do all types of big, disgusting humrot. He says it straight out. Because all the people that like to add things and do things, we don't even hear about it from them. It doesn't show up. I made my ma'aser more than my ma'aser. I did ma'aser on top of my ma'aser. I gave my ma'aser to some big rabbi. We don't hear about it. We've never heard about it. We've never seen it. We don't read about it any place. It's a new fashion.
It's great. So
Yeah. Basically, they're holding on. They're holding on to the thorns.
yeah,
He's
before
tangled.
God, my wife tells him not to sacrifice. Then God tells him to stop there, and then he sees the.
He's like, what is? He goes, V'yesh od ma laharich, and I could say more and more. But I think I said enough. Anybody who understands what I'm saying understands. Because I don't need to go on. Ve'od. But you know what? Let's say something else
But let's
now.
keep going.
But
But he's specifically talking here about giving you 10%
yes,
of your salary.
right. Ve'od. So he goes, I'm not going to continue talking about why it's Doraita or not Doraita, or why the Rabbanan or not the Rabbanan. Because I'm going to go one step further. Ve'od yas'a mizeh kalqallah. He goes, we have all types of problems that stem from Ma'aser Kesafim. שבני אדם שהיו נותנים מעשר הסתפקו במעשר. Now these people that are giving ma'aser, that's enough. I gave ma'aser. I gave a ma'aser. That's it. I'm done. I gave ma'aser. ולא רצו לתת צדקה יותר אף שיש לידם. And now they don't want to give tzedakah. Even if they have more, they do not want to give tzedakah. וזה הפך ההלכה. And this goes against the halacha. This is the exact opposite of the halacha. Be'ilchot tzedakah. If you open up Shulchan Aruch, Yoreh De'ah, Siman Resh Mim Zayin, what does he say over there? Mizvat aseh liten tzedakah kefi heseg yad. Every person is obligated to give tzedakah as much as they can give. Sedaqah. You don't have to give ma'aser. You have to give sedaqah though. But now these people gave their ma'aser, now they don't want to give sedaqah. What's your question?
Where does the 10% come into play? Give 10% sedaqah.
This is a suggestion.
He's not even getting
No,
into that.
no. Sedaqah has no number.
Where am I getting the number 10% from?
That's ma'aser.
Oh, okay.
Something that he's telling you
Has
is
nothing
some
to do with each
newfangled
other.
thing.
I'm
But,
confusing the two.
but people are probably thinking I gave my Ma'aser, which is Sedaqah.
No, I was trying to say it has nothing to do with each other.
But what I'm saying is when you're giving your 10%, it's in your mind you're saying Sedaqah. Why? Okay, so I've given and I can't really give any more, so why should I give any more?
I'm not understanding.
Okay, yeah.
No, Barry. One second. I think what you want to say is this. People do not distinguish between ma'aser and tzedakah. They think they are one and the same.
What's the difference between
One second,
Relax.
please. No, 1 second. Let's clarify for a second.
People are going to be watching this. You want to hear the whole thing. You're jumping on that. Come on.
No. There is something called ma'aser, okay, which Rabbi Messas is telling you is something brand new, okay, and there's something called tzedakah, which is something ancient, okay. So we have an obligation. Every person has an obligation to give tzedakah, give charity. How much? It's not 1% or 10% or 50%. It's as much as you can give. In every situation, when a situation comes up that money is needed for charity, give as much as you can. If at that moment you only have a dime in your pocket, then you really don't need that dime. You're giving away the whole dime, so you give 100%. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
That's Sedaqah. Ma'aser means, again, as per Rabbi Messas, there is a new thought where besides Sedaqah, and that's what Rabbi Messas is telling you, it's besides Sedaqah, there are those that think I need to give Ma'aser. I must give 10% of my net worth or 10% of my profit, depending on how people want to calculate things. And now he's telling you there are those that are mistaken. They think that because they gave this 10%, even though they may be zillionaires and they have more money to give than 10%, well, no, I don't have to give. I gave 10%, I'm done. And so somebody came to you, let's say, here's my 10%. I filled up this cup of water, that's all my money. I'm going to give 10%. I have this cup of 90% of water. I don't need it for anything. You're thirsty? Too bad. You're not getting it because I gave my 10% already. Doesn't work that way. Okay? If you want to discuss Ma'aser, separate issue. Okay? What's Ma'aser? Where can it be taken from? Who it's given to? Who it's not given to? Why? Separate class. Okay? That's a whole different thing.
I think what's happening is like the terms are being used interchangeably,
yes.
and therefore there's some sort of confusion. Is it Sedaqah? Is it Ma'aser?
Because it boils down to the same thing. Nobody's teaching.
Right. Oh, no, that's true.
That's true. Yes, nobody's teaching. People are left in the dark on purpose. Because if people know all the details, those that are giving bits and pieces of details will not get everything they want.
Yeah, but I
And
think this
you
would be
could-
to their advantage. If someone gave Ma'aser and then they also want to get Sedaqah, they could double hit them. Double whammy. No, I think they would
No.
want to teach people
No. Ma'aser can be used for very few things.
that. Oh, so they're taking that money that they don't deserve.
Right.
That's
People are
interesting.
people are giving in their minds, okay? And I mean I'd probably say
99% of the people.
99% of the people give Ma'aser today, okay, and are religious about giving Ma'aser, they are giving it to
Wrong.
causes which cannot be given to from the laws of Ma'aser.
Such as.
We'll have a class.
Different
on that.
class. Different class.
That's to be continued.
This
on
is
that
one of the first classes I did. It was only me and Ezra
Yeah,
and
so we'll go
Naomi's
back
brother, and this was 20 plus years ago.
And that's why he's still on the chat, because he started with the class.
No, different brother.
Oh.
No.
Ralph is probably too young.
Yeah, I'm talking about Alan.
But I mean,
I didn't finish. I'm still reading. What?
No, but besides him mentioning that we don't do this at all, is there anyone that said that we should do this?
1 minute.
That's
We're dealing with Rabbi Messas tonight.
Okay.
Hakham Yosef Messas. That's who we're dealing with tonight. So we'll go back. ועוד יעשה מזה כלכלה שבני אדם שהיו נותנים מעשר הסתפקו במעשר ולא רצו לתת צדקה יותר אף שיש לידם וזה הפך ההלכה בהלכות צדקה ירדיעה סימן רמז ולשונו מזוות עשר ייתן צדקה כפי הישג יד. We explained all that. ועיין עוד סימן רמת שמזוות הצדקה היא כאשר תשיג ידו לתת לעניים די מחסורם. And the mitzvah of Sedaqah, Shulchan Aruch continues, is when a person can give to a poor person as much as they need. Not 10%, but as much as they need. ואם לא יוכל חייב ליתן חומש נכסיו, and if you cannot give him everything he needs, you're at least obligated to give homish. You have to give 20% of what you have to him. Okay? Once again, we debunked 10% Ma'aser. Ma'aser hu midah
Who
bin...
they quoting?
Haruch. Ma'aser hu midah benonit. Ayin Sham. And Ma'aser is only considered midah benonit, the middle of the road. It's not what's considered optimal. Ve'od qalqalla ahiret. And another downfall from this Ma'aser is Yeshedanu al da'at lehit arsher. There are those who give it because they think by giving a tenth, I will become rich. This is the most common thought among people, and I'm sure you've all heard it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I give 10% because God will make me rich. And when they do not get rich, tohu. What's tohu? Tohu vabo. What do you have? Chaos on who? On the beginning. In other words, on all the Hachamim, on all of the Torah, on the Rishonot, on Borei Olam himself. Instead of thanking God, they start cursing out God and cursing out the religion, cursing out the Torah, okay, because you promised me, I'm giving you 10%, I'm going to get rich. And I gave, and I gave, and I gave, and I gave, and I didn't get rich. And now I need money, and I don't have it. ובכן, לדעתי המעט אין מקום לשאלות כבודו. So therefore, I'm saying, sorry, Mr. Yefet, there's no place for your question. אחר הלכה פסוקה, שמן התורה חייב לתת כפי הישג, you don't have the rest 3 lines, I didn't copy for a thing, פג יד, ונותן מעשה בכל דבר שיסתפק ידך לחומרה, שהוא ספקה דאורייתא, ואם אין ידו משגת פטור, זהו הנראה להשאיר כבודו בעשת עושה נפלאות גדולות לבדו. But bottom line is, he goes, you ask me about Ma'aser? I think you understand. Your question was not a question. We have a halakha, and the halakha is very clear that you have to give as much as you can give. And by think by doing this humrah of ma'aser, you end up not doing your requirement of halacha because you've now forgotten about the halacha of giving as much as you could give because you stopped at that 10% quota. Okay? And who comes out ahead from this? Nobody. So Rabbi Yosef Messas does not like Ma'aser. And he's saying he never saw it growing up. Now he grew up in a house of Hachamim. His teachers were Hachamim. His whole city, he came from the city of Meknes, known in Morocco as one of the greatest city of Hachamim. Okay? You had the Messas family, and you had the Toledano family, and you had the Berdugo family, you know, and each one of the Hachamim greater than the next. I never heard of it. Didn't exist.
Maran says that you should give Ma'aser.
Yeah, what did it say about giving Ma'aser?
No, I'm just saying, so explain the, he gives a halacha, he says you shouldn't give 5%, you should give up to 20%.
Up to 20%, right.
Right.
Up to 20%. That means you don't cap it at 10%. You don't say that when I get, but he's not talking about the in other words, he's telling you in Hilchot Sedaqah that your Sedaqah you have to give up to 20%. In other words, don't squander all your money and give it all away as charity. But what's known as Ma'aser, he doesn't discuss the Shulchan Aruch. What's known today as Ma'aser is not discussed there.
No, 100%.
It's not. And Harambam surely doesn't discuss it at all.
No, this is Ma'aser Aniyim,
Okay?
chapter 7.
And what does it say?
It's worthwhile to open it.
No, I'm asking you, read it to us.
It's a few halachot.
So you're welcome to read it. We can all pull it up on our phone, but you have it there already, so start.
Okay, it's what I said, the 10 Sedaqah La'aniyim, Kima Shre'oi La'ani.
Okay, so you have a mizvat aseh to give tzedakah to a poor person, depending on what this ani needs, what he's worthy of.
אם הייתה יד הנותן משגת, שנאמר, פתוח תפתח את ידך. לא. נאמר, והחלקת בו גר ותושב, בחייך. נאמר, בחי אחיך עמך. הלכה ב' וכל הרואה עני מבקש, ועני מעיניו ממנו, ולא נתן לו צדקה, אבל ולא תעשה, שנאמר, לא תאמץ לבביך, ולא תחוץ את ידיך מאחיך האביון.
Okay, so bottom line is now, if you capped yourself at, I already gave my 10%, and now this ani comes to you and asks you for tzedakah, and you don't give it to him, it's haram. You have to give. Okay? Correct so far, Ma?
Correct.
Okay.
So, a couple more halachot. לפי מה שחסר העני, אתה מצווה ליתן לו.
Whatever the ani is missing, what he's lacking, you are commanded to give it to him.
אם אין לו כיסות, מכסים אותו.
Okay, if he doesn't have clothing, you clothe him.
אין לו כלי בית, קונים לו.
He doesn't have pots and pans, you buy that for him.
אם אין לו אישה, מסיעים אותו.
If he doesn't have a wife, you find him a wife and you get him married.
אם הייתה אישה, מסיעים אותה לאיש, אפילו היה דרכו שזה העני לרכוב על הסוס. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that didn't make sense. I'm like, whoa.
אם הייתה אישה, מסיעים אותה.
Okay, and if it's a woman, so you find a man for her to marry.
אפילו היה דרכו שזה העני לרכוב על הסוס, ועבד רץ לפניו, והעני וירד מנכסיו, קונים לו סוס לרכוב עליו, ועבד לרוץ לפניו.
So you had this poor person now, and he was once wealthy, and he used to ride on a horse, and he used to have a slave that would run in front of him, and now he doesn't have that because he's fallen on hard times, really hard times. You have to go out and buy him a horse and get him a slave. Because that is the type of lifestyle he was used to. You have to help him get back to that.
Okay, מצווה אתה להשלים חסרונו, ואין אתה מצווה לעושרו.
Right, so you are obligated to give him what he is lacking, up to that point of what he's lacking, but you are not obligated to make him rich.
Okay, two more. יתום שבא להשיאו אישה, שוכרים לו בית ומציעים לו מיטה וחור, כלי תשמישו, ואחר כך מציעים לו אישה.
Okay, so now if you have an orphan, okay, and he doesn't have a wife, he doesn't have family, doesn't have a place, you have to go rent them, rent them an apartment, get him a bed, get him a sofa, find him a wife, marry him off. Don't leave people as stragglers.
I think it's putting time into them, not just
I'm sorry?
putting time into them. Also, caring about the person.
Obviously.
Not just giving them the dollar or two.
No.
This is Baha Ani Vishal.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Baha Ani
Mhm.
Vishal Dai Mechusaro Ve'en Yad Hanoten Maseget Noten Lo Kifi Haseget Yado.
Right. So if the person comes and he asks for money for what he's lacking, and you do not have everything he is asking you for, give him as much as you can.
V'kama
And how much?
Ad Hamishit Nechasav.
Up to 20% of what you have.
Ze mitzvah min hamuvchar.
This is the best way of fulfilling the mitzvah. Right, if you give him 10%, then you consider it Benoni. Average. If you give less than that, it's considered like you have a bad eye. In other words, you're a cheapskate. Well, I'm just telling you. They use the word ayin ra because, like, you look at the guy, you scrutinize him. I really got to give this guy, Nah, that's ayin ra. You start squinting your eye when you don't want to give something. It's a common way of looking at things. So, obviously, you're...
So he is putting a cap on it. He's putting 20%.
Yes, as a cap of Sedaqah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's not telling you, in everything that Mark read, Mark didn't say, if I opened up a business, okay, and at the end of my year, I came out with a net profit of $100, do I have to give away $10? There is no such law.
No.
So here's my question. You have to always be doing an accounting, or if somebody comes to you and it's how much money you have in your wallet.
So,
I gotta go check my bank statements. Like, I don't go check my NOI. Do I have to call my accountant? What am I profiting this quarter?
well, there are
Does it
those.
even need to be exact?
There are those. No.
$7.48.
What's NOI? Sorry, the people don't know it.
Net operating.
Okay. So people on the video might not understand it.
And people in the room might not know. Like myself, I had no idea what it was. I'm not gonna lie. And did anybody know what it was? No. Okay. Just
That was different when you just said that. You have to your net income. You don't have to. You said if you made $100, you don't have to give $10 to the charity. Wouldn't you just give that example to Victor just now?
That was 90% of the water you're talking about. Is that what you're talking about?
you lost me, Murray. I'm sorry.
I was just saying. You just said that it's not that I made $100. I opened up a business. I made $100.
I have to give away $10.
Yeah.
Ma'aser, right? No
Your
such
net
thing.
income.
No. Did you hear? Mark was talking about something else.
Sedaqah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
No. So go back. No. So what Mark is saying. Now, somebody comes to you. You have to start, calculating what you have. So, I can't tell you.
Well, I have $100 in my wallet.
Give me 1 second. So I can't tell you, an answer to your question, the way you're asking it, only because I'm not sure I know how to answer it. But I'll tell you, from those people that give Ma'aser, they keep very scrupulous records. Some of them on a daily basis, some of them on a weekly basis, some of them, some of them on a monthly basis or paycheck to paycheck, depending what it is. Okay, This is what I grossed. This is what I net. This is my Ma'aser. And they keep a log, and some of them actually take out this Ma'aser money, and they have a special bank account that they put that Ma'aser money into. And they'll write checks off of that, for what they think they're giving to Ma'aser.
Wow.
Okay?
Very invested.
There's definitely, before like that, people just have notebooks. You have a notebook, and you keep, okay, here's my, let's say, I got my weekly salary, I got $1,000, okay, here's my Ma'aser, here's this much, and they just keep a tally of it, and every time they use from it, they subtract from it. Okay, now I have this much Ma'aser, very simple. But yeah, nowadays you're talking about, where people have all types of investments and, the returns on these. I think you have to actually cash them in to be able to say that's your profit, to say you give Ma'aser from it. You can't say, oh, I have a building someplace, it's worth this much, I have to give Ma'aser. You can't do it like that.
It's very hard to calculate.
But that's a class in itself.
Today,
I wouldn't even know how you would have a class on that.
how would you come up with it?
Yeah.
Well, what about your taxes? What
What
about
about your
what you're giving?
You have a 401k.
What about what you're giving to your tuition for your kids? You don't know how much going to other kids.
So that's what I said. If you want to have a class on Ma'aser in that sense,
Yeah.
it's a very different type of class, and it's more than one class. It's a series of classes. It's not the most simple topic. And when you see how you can't give Ma'aser to practically everything, it's going to blow your mind. So,
I'm still confused about it. I don't
you should be.
No, I didn't understand what you told Victor was different than what Mark just gave his example.
Okay, Mark, can you repeat or should David, you want to replay the video?
Question?
Yeah.
Question? What was Victor's question?
No, the example I gave to Victor. He said you just opened up a business, made $100. You don't have to now say, "Oh, I made $100. I got to give $10 to."
No, that's not what I
Joey
said.
said he doesn't
That's
have to
not
drink
what I
any
said.
Oh.
Joey said, "This is my $90 of water, and I'm not giving it to you. I'm not sharing it." That's what Joey said. If you want to replay the
You live in
tape.
a town with no ani. Do you have to give it? No, the ani has to come to you. You go for. Say you don't know of any ani. You're in the middle of your.
So you gotta go find one. Don't you have to go out of your way to find one?
If there was.
You think they're coming to you off the plane from Israel? Come on.
Go to the doctor.
You're not getting a letter in the mail? Come on.
I don't complain.
No, what I was telling Victor.
Come on, yeah, for yeshiva.
Okay, I made $100. Here's my net profit. I made $100. Okay, $10 has to go to Ma'aser. Okay, and I give away that $10. Now I'm scot-free. Don't have to give any more. That's what I was telling Victor. People say that they do, and they're done with it. In other words, people will not give more than that Ma'aser. Sometimes I'll approach somebody for, let's say I know a certain cause, and I'll tell, whatever it may be, and I'll go to somebody, oh no, I already gave him Ma'aser.
Yeah.
Okay. Understand.
I'm done.
Tell
That's
him the messenger who brought the rabbi and also took a percent, you got to repay that amount because it didn't go to Ma'aser.
Not only you have the messenger, the guy who gave him the list of places to go to,
Right.
the guy who drove him around, the guy who put him up for the night, the guy who cashed his checks for him not through a bank. Okay, there's all types of games that go on. It's disgusting.
But suppose now he says I'm gonna give more Sedaqah. The first Ma'aser that he did is so according to Hakham Yosef Messas, he's not.
According to Hakham Yosef Messas, this is all nonsensical.
Okay.
That's what Rabbi Yosef Messas is telling me.
Okay, and according to Maran, what he did was correct. I'm saying as long as
No.
but he
No.
has the intention of giving more tzedakah as well.
Ma'aser ani.
In other words, no. What Shulchan Aruch is telling you and what Harambam is telling you, give tzedakah each and every time a case that warrants charity occurs. But don't go broke for it.
Okay.
So they capped it at 20%. Therefore, people don't feel strangled by it, and therefore, a generous person doesn't end up putting himself in the poorhouse. That's what it is.
Like Chaim Solomon. Right? That was
I
the guy?
think what's important to say
He
here.
gave all his money
He
away
gave all
to
his
the
money away.
to the revolution, and he died a poor man.
Yeah.
Okay, he gave $1 million to George Washington.
He gave everything he had. He
He got us this country,
yeah.
pretty much,
So sorry,
practically.
right?
I think he was half and half.
So if you're looking at Harambam's examples, he's giving you specific situations in which to give charity, people who really need it. But the way it's done today is people say, I'm going to give 10% to any sort of charitable institution, perhaps,
Right.
that could be wasting the money that.
No, it's not going to any of the
It's not going to real poor people who really need it, right? So I'm not saying.
And we're talking about real poor people.
Somebody can't afford.
In other words, is Ma'aser goes to
People-
Talmud Torah?
You've been to
That's the
Israel?
question.
You've seen it,
Something to be discussed.
right? You've been to Israel. You've seen it.
That's the question.
Go to Manhattan.
Yeah.
I'm
See
talking.
the street.
Yeah, well,
Seventh Avenue.
Yeah, okay. That's crazy people. Yeah.
No, but you have to. You have to say there's aniyim. You have poor people. It's not like the guy comes to you. I have 300 students in the
But
kollel.
should you, if they
You
don't
know-
come to you, should you go out to them? Meaning, suppose the situation doesn't come up. Should you go out of your way to look for a situation in that case?
That's a whole different thing. That I would tell you that would fall under laws of Sedaqah. Okay, Sedaqah means you have to be a charitable person. It's not just okay. This guy came in and looking for me. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go hide in my basement so they can't find me.
So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we should do the class because there's a wrinkle. Guy makes $100,000, $200,000, so let's say.
Mm-hmm.
It goes to all his expenses. He doesn't have savings for himself even.
Forget
It's
even.
like it's a huge problem.
Is taxes included already?
Oh,
Is
Yeah, you don't know how to get.
Taxes are being like 38-40%. It's like what's that?
So bottom line is it's after taxes. We're talking about after taxes. Okay, because once the
and after school?
no
It's gotta
part.
be after that.
So part of your school's tuition can be taken from Ma'aser. Now, which part of it? Again, separate class. You know, these are there's a lot. Each question is a class, so we can't just do it over here and then you walk out. It's a lot of different
We should
things.
do it.
You think so?
I think so, yeah.
Can you give an example off the top of your head now of an
What
organization
about it?
that is considered Ma'aser in the community?
I don't want to.
That is not.
I do not
the
want.
ones that
I
aren't.
do not want to discuss it
To
right now.
discuss what? What was your
Okay.
question?
I don't want to go there. Victor's question is: can I give an example right now of a institution in the community
That is Ma'aser.
that can take Ma'aser?
He doesn't want to go there.
I don't want. I don't want. I'm not touching it right now
Surprised you like Sandra and Joey on this one. You'd be like. Usually
because we're
always-
not here to support any particular institutions right now. Okay,
All right.
they didn't pay enough for that.